Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome again today to the next episode of Coffee, Tea, You and Me with Coach Powell Training and Development. I have got some exciting news to share with you today. A few weeks ago, we created a training program that we piloted um, called AI, Technology, and Environmental Justice Savvy for business leaders and entrepreneurs. And the whole goal of the course was literally to train the community and help the community start to understand how to reckon with the pace of the technological movements that impact and affect those communities. Now, we know for a fact that there's been lots of literature and there's been lots of statements that have been made from people all over the United States about the incoming engagement of data centers and fusion reactors and different types of power cell sources that are being developed to include and enforce the AI infrastructure. And some people like it, some people don't like it, some people feel some certain ways about it. But the reason why we put the course together was not to promote the forward flow of AI and technology as much as it is to help people understand how to get involved, how to make sure that their messages and the needs that they want are clear. We all want a clean environment. We all want better uses of technology. We all want better jobs and a higher level of economic performance for our entire economy. We all want those things, but we want those things to not damage the environment. We want those things to be fair to everyone that gets to participate or should be participating in the decision making process, in the strategies moving forward. And we don't just want to be dictated terms that we then have to live with by these amazingly big corporations that uh, not necessarily have the best interests of the communities in which they impact at heart. And so we want to make sure that the communities get their voice, they get their opportunity, they get their chance. And I have to say that pilot program went off super successfully. I'm very, very proud of the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma who helped empower me to put that program together, who engaged and became part of the process, and who helped us work the kinks out of the program. The pilot cohort is up and they're established, they're running. They're going to have a private Facebook page for them right now. They can go and share what they're doing in their communities and how they're affecting change in their communities in a positive and meaningful way. It is so good that they're able to do that. So I'm very proud of it, and I can't wait to roll it out all over the state and all over the country, which we're going to be doing. And our next cohort is going to happen on the 24th of June, right there in Chesterfield, Virginia. And I can't wait to bring this program. This program is in alignment with all the guidance that have been delivered from various environmental justice organizations and training programs, from the NAACP to the Chesapeake Society, and all kinds of other organizations that I've gleaned from to pull this information together, including some of the greatest technology experts and geniuses when it comes to technologies that actually solve problems versus create problems. So I love to have you all, if you want to learn more about the course, go ahead and DM me, go ahead and call me, go ahead and share with me, and I will make sure that the course might be available for you in your neighborhood. It is a live face-to-face course right now. We soon will be taking it online so that you will be able to download it and participate in it and engage. But we're going to take it around, do the face-to-face version for quite a few times. Again, while we work the kinks out, we know what actually works before we deliver it online. So if you're interested, definitely give me a call. Definitely DM me wherever you know me from: LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you can find me. I'm available, I'm accessible, and I'm here for the community. The second thing I want to announce to you is Coffee to You and Me format is going to be changing for the next 90 days. The next 90 days, we're going to be talking everything tech, AI, environmental justice, and how it all flows together. There's going to be several articles that we create and produce. There's going to be several posts that you may want to see. And if you are interested in any way, shape, or form, if you're an engineer, if you're a data center, somewhere in the data center chain of development, if you're interested in working on making sure that community development happens in your neighborhood, if you're interested in workforce development, you're going to want to tune in for the next series. Today, we are wrapping up our series on business development. For the last 11 weeks or so, we've been talking to entrepreneurs and business leaders about how to strengthen their skills in business development. And today, I'm going to give you a preview of the 7 relationship intelligence skills that you simply must have. And these are calling the 7 secrets of relationship intelligence. And I will tell you the reasons why they're secrets is not because they're secret. They're a secret because our society and our world has turned a blind eye to how to effectively make change happen with entrepreneurs, with business leaders, with business development strategies. And we're bringing back the true techniques of how we work together, human to human, to make things better. Not just in just the business development world, but in everything that we get the opportunity to do with one another. And so I'm going to share the 7 secrets today, and I'm glad you're paying attention. If you're paying attention, I want you to sharpen your pencils because it's going to come hard and heavy. We're just recapping what we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to make sure that you understand at a high level what these 7 secrets are and how you can use these 7 secrets to develop your own strategies. Now, there aren't any of the 7 secrets that you should cut out, but you should always look to customize those things and make them yours. Practice them as is first before you start changing things around. Make sure you've mastered the skill, and then go ahead and add your own additional innovation. In fact, if you do so and you find a way to make these things work even better, text me, call me. I want to know how you did it, how it worked out. All this stuff has been based on the greatest of neuroscience and how humans actually behave and interact with one another. So let's get into it. There happen to be 7 secrets of relationship intelligence. Now, relationship intelligence is super important because all relationship intelligence it's emotional intelligence that's applied to commercial outcomes. Let me repeat. Relationship intelligence is emotional intelligence applied to commercial outcomes. Now, we know emotional intelligence is really all about understanding empathy and how to use empathy, right? How empathy shows up in our world, how it affects us in ways that help us either make or not make decisions to move things forward. But relationship intelligence is the next level, right? It's how you apply emotional intelligence to create the economic strategy, the investment strategy, the referral strategy, the business development strategy, whatever you want to create human to human, you're going to have to understand the 7 relationships intelligence secrets. When you understand these secrets, they're going to accelerate every pursuit that you would engage in or get involved in. Whether it's practicing your ability to read people and group dynamics, whether it's building multiple level relationships inside of an organization that you want to create effective change and opportunities in, or maybe it's sustaining trust along a long sales and delivery cycle, which if you're doing anything complex that involves multiple departments or multiple stakeholders in any particular, you're going to want to know these 7 secrets. So all business development work, I don't care where you're talking about or where you're going from, it moves faster and it lasts longer. So what do we mean by that? When you understand these 7 secrets, not only can you quickly start to develop a pace of solidarity and energy and work as you get into these larger business development challenges. You can do that quickly. But not only do you get there quickly, but the effect, the lingering effect of the techniques, the tactics, the strategies that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, they last longer, which gives you an opportunity to not just create levels of transaction, but to deepen relationships into a more meaningful aspect of how you want to move forward in any organization or any company or any group that you want to belong to or deal with or work with. And you cannot develop collaborative relationships without understanding these 7 secrets. Okay, so let's go through the 7 secrets really quickly, and then we're going to go back and maybe recap some of them. The 7 secrets, here they are. Secret number 1. You must have an understanding of the core capabilities of relationship intelligence. There are only 3, but you must have these. You must have that understanding, these core capabilities, the strategies, the techniques, the tactics. You have to have those skills under yourself. Number 2, second secret. You must be able to practice behaviors that are practical and meaningful today. If you cannot practice the right kinds of behaviors to a level of execution, and I won't say perfection, I almost said perfection, but a level of execution that is really high, then you're going to find yourself suffering. The third secret are meaningful relationship rituals and drills. You're going to find that in all relationships, right? As you develop those relationships, there are things that work well in those relationships on a regular, consistent basis, and things that don't. And you have to practice the various aspects of these different relationships and drills so that you understand what to use and when to use it in any situation that you find yourself in. This is related to secret number 4, which is understanding the cues that you need to read and then act upon that you might be hearing from another person, whether this person is a potential investor, a potential shareholder, a potential worker, a potential collaborator, a potential sale, a potential any type of stakeholder in the environments that you're trying to create. You must be able to read the relationship cues and then act upon them in a meaningful, powerful way. The 5th secret that you have to understand is literally all about having the ability to find the right measurements, the right metrics that will help you not just qualify, but quantify relationship health. Now, I know that may seem offhand to be difficult, but there are 5 key components to that if you get those key components right, you're able to not just measure where you are, but you can sit back and then look at where you are with all your relationships or professional relationships and start to go, oh, there's patterns of behavior here that I may need to make an adjustment to. I may need to go back to my core capabilities and figure out, oh, this is one I need to work on and strengthen, because when I do that, I'm going to be able to go deeper in these relationships and make more meaningful opportunities happen within my organization. Number 6, the 6th secret is there's 6 common traps that you must avoid. And the reason why they're common traps is because most of us don't even understand that they're out there, and we run head on right into those traps. And then number 7, you need to have, for every interaction that you have with every account, again, whether that account is with a stakeholder, that account is with a referral source, that account is with an investor, it could be anybody who you think you can energize and interact with in a meaningful, powerful way, you need to have a quick checklist of how you move that account forward at every interaction. Right? That means you got to look for a lot of different things in every interaction to make sure you've maximized the value of the moment that you're spending with people. Okay, so let's quickly get into the 3 core capabilities. 3 core capabilities are understanding how to read the room, how to build and maintain multiple level relationships, and how to make long cycle trust happen. These core capabilities are super important to anything and everything you're going to do in business development. If you can't read the room, if you don't know who's powerful, if you don't know who's interested, if you can't figure out the emotional triggers that are going on around you, if you can't find the alignment, the message that aligns the next activity, your next action, the next forward move in the relationships, you're done. You have to be able to read the room. That's why the face-to-face interaction is so critical in everything you do in business development. Second, of the three core capabilities of relationship intelligence, building and maintaining multiple levels of relationships. We talked about this earlier. It is important that you have a map and you engage, whether they're users, influence, or decision makers. You need to know who you're talking with and how they're going to engage with whatever product or service that you intend to offer in the future. Are they users, are they influence, are they decision makers? This way, you begin to talk to people and share with people information that matters to them. What you're going to give to a user is different than what you're going to give to an influencer. What you're going to share with the decision maker is different than what you're going to share with the user. And so you have to make sure that you understand what the level of relationship is and where this fits in to whatever you're doing with another person. Number three, maintain long cycle trust. I cannot stress this enough. Create specific, reliable trust that survives long-term political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental influences. Shocks or an accelerated future collaboration are all related to your ability to understand long cycle trust. And that means you got to look at all those 5 areas and the key areas. Number two, there are practical behaviors that you have to practice now. 1, scan for the 4 cues: power, interest, emotion, and alignment. Number 2, personalize recognitions across every level. Take your time, do your homework. If you're talking to a user, you want to reward them differently than if you're talking to any other type of stakeholder. If you're talking to an influencer, you want to have rewards and justify those balances differently, right? Use the RAP approach. RAP approach is all about being respectful, affectionate, and praiseful when you're working with other people. I wrote it for a reason. There's a link in the training. If you ever get the training, make sure you ask me for the link that helps you get to the RAP approach, because the RAP approach is a genius level concept that I created that will help you understand how to get the most out of every relationship you're in. And you got to be careful because you only have the bandwidth for so many relationships at one time, right? So be very, very careful about that. And this does matter whether you're introvert or extrovert. Introverts can have fewer relationships than extroverts, and extroverts can have more relationships, not too many more than introverts, but that matters greatly when it comes to your ability to build relationships. So that's number 2 on the practical behaviors. Number 3 on the practical behaviors is set and meet micro commitments. Start small and then grow into the relationship. But always make a commitment, always make a promise, always deliver on the promise, and always move the next level of credibility up in a relationship. If you start on level 10, you have nowhere to go for the relationship. And so you want to pick up wherever you last left off with that person, and then you want to be consistent in delivering and growing up and deepening the relationship. That's just going deep with one person, right? Now, if you really want to go deep in a relationship with an institution, you got to have several different people in several different areas of that institution, and you're going to have different levels. So these are all different engagements within the same account, so to speak, right? Then there's practical, purposeful compassion. You have to be able to deliver on warmth in a way that creates boundaries that are clear, not just anything for anybody, everybody, all the time. That kind of mentality will get you in nothing but trouble because you can't sustain it. It's not regenerative. It doesn't keep going and keep growing. It burns you out. It burns other people out when you can no longer meet the expectations they now have for you because you help set those expectations. Okay, the next secret you got to understand is the 5 relationship rituals and drills for your calendar. Ritual number one, have a pre-meeting prep. Every time before you go into a meeting, you need to have a prep. This prep is all about writing down specific objectives. Who are the stakeholders that you want to win over? What is the empathy line that you want to use? Number two, have a post 24-hour recap. This recap only has to include 2, maybe 3 sentences, what you agreed on, and who owns what. Who's responsible for what action that you're going to move forward. Number 3, weekly stakeholder map. As you look at your week and you look at your maps for the week of your stakeholders, you're going to want to do a one-pager that has every relationship on the map showing, users, influencers, blockers, and the trust level that you have with each and every potential stakeholder or current stakeholder, investor, whatever you want to call it. You want them all lined up on one weekly map. Over the month, you want to have a trust review. You want to take your top 10 relationships and score them on a level of 1 to 10 of clarity, for reliability, for influence, for reciprocity. And whichever of those scores that are the lowest, act on the lowest 2. What do you need to do to create more clarity? What do you need to do to create more reliability? What do you need to do to create more influence? What do you need to do to create higher levels of reciprocity? You have to figure that out, and there are ways to figure that out. If you pay attention to what we're talking about, you're going to learn really quickly. The 5th aspect of the 5 relationship rituals and drills for your calendar are having a quarterly rotation, meaning if you belong in an organization, you have multiple sales reps or business development professionals on each account, that's going to help you out over the long run. Because what's happening is everybody in their organization is getting to know the right people in your organization, and you're moving those relationships around in a way where no one person owns the relationship. For each major account, there should be broad connections, and it reduces the single point of dependency, meaning your business and your institution is protected when somebody goes on vacation, or somebody leaves the company, or somebody gets sick, or something happens to one person. You don't have a whole account that falls apart. The next aspect of the secrets that you need to understand are the 4 relationship cues to read and act upon. Number 1 is the power cue. Who has the power in the room and who's moving and manipulating that power. Number 2 is the interest cue. Who is interested and how are they showing you interest? And what are you doing as a result of that interest to keep that relationship at a high level of energy and moving forward? Number 3, what's the emotional cue? Who's scared? Who's fearful? Who's validating? Who wants to deal with the risks? Who's enthusiastic? Who's giving testimonials? Where's the social proof? Right? These are all emotional cues. Number 4, alignment cue. Okay? How do you know that you're in alignment with the organization that you're trying to build business or build trust with? What is the surface? What is the conflict that needs to be surfaced and the compromise that needs to be proposed? You have to sometimes run a couple experiments in this, but you have to find that alignment and formalize this kind of alignment with everybody that you're going to work with, that you're going to want to be in a consistent relationship that moves the needle when it comes to developing your business. The next secret we want to talk about are the 5 metrics, the measurements of relationship health. You have to be able to measure trust velocity. You have to be able to measure multiple level coverage. You have to be able to measure commitment hit ratio or the commitment hit rate. You have to be able to lever the reciprocity score, and you have to be able to measure the relationship churn. Let's get into it. Trust velocity. What are we talking about? How fast does it take? How fast do you get from a meaningful reaction to a named commitment in every account that you work with? It means that you got to understand what the named commitment should probably be right up front. And then you have to start making the clock tick. There are a lot of smaller commitments that may lead up to this bigger named commitment. And you have to know what those smaller commitments are and who's, again, responsible for leading the charge on each of those small commitments. Number two, multiple level of coverage. This is the percentage of accounts that you have with mapped users, influencers, and decision makers. You must, again, write that all down. Who are the users, influencers, and decision makers in every single account? And then you must measure the percentage of accounts that you have with each of those. Number three, what is the commitment hit rate? This is the percentage of micro commitments that you need to make to deliver on time. I'll say that again. Your commitment hit rate is the percentage of small commitments that you've delivered that you can, so that you can get to the whatever named commitment that you need to get to on time. There's a difference between that activity and the result. If you measure the activity, then you're going to be more meaningful in terms of the route that you get to come to whatever result you're trying to get to. Number four is the reciprocity score. This is the frequency of inbound help or referrals from a stakeholder. How often do you get an inbound level of commitment, connection, developing a referral, whatever it is, from all stakeholders that you get to play with? Because that reciprocity score is about how often your efforts turn back into efforts from other people in your direction. And yes, you want reciprocity. You don't want to give, and nothing comes back. That's an example of failure waiting to happen, because again, you don't have the bandwidth to continue to do that forever before people expect some results, right? Number five, and the five metrics to measure relationship health, is relationship churn. This is the percentage of key contacts that you lose or replace every single year. And you should have an understanding of what that is. If you're a great business development professional, you know. The four common traps and how to avoid them. I love these because these things so matter. Because often we want to know, well, what happens if we don't get the other stuff right? And how do we know we're doing it wrong? If you're thinking of treating everyone the same, this is thing number one, right? The four common traps. Then you're losing personalized recognition. And one size for everyone erases significance for everyone. And so you have to think, how do I treat everyone the way they need to be treated to move the agenda forward that you're trying to move? I understand that you can't be the right person for everyone all the time. Maybe there's someone else in your organization that can step in and drive that relationship home, especially when you think about what their real needs are and you understand what their real needs are. It might not be you who are in a position to fulfill it. Maybe somebody else in your organization is in a position to fulfill it. Maybe somebody that's outside of your organization is in a position to fulfill that need. Either way, you are gaining trust within a relationship every time you find and fulfill a need for that person. Number two, this was a big one. If you over-rely on a single champion, I understand that there are rainmakers in every organization. I'm going to suggest that you build an organization of rainmakers. Now, some people can make it rain louder and harder and thunderous, and some people can only create some trickles. But everybody's in that business development mindset. It has to be a culture of business development. If you don't have that, then you fall victim of over-reliance on one single person. And when that person is no longer doing the thing that they were good at doing, then it all falls apart. Number three, warmth without boundaries. I mentioned this earlier. You need to have proper expectations for every professional relationship. I'm saying be kind to everyone that you should be being kind to, because if you're just out there for everyone, this becomes permissiveness for other people who are maybe choosing to victimize others. You have to pair compassion with clear deliverables. This is a difference between just emotional intelligence versus relationship intelligence. Compassion with clear deliverables. I'm saying, yes, I'm all in with compassion, but I'm all in with compassion with clear deliverables. And it's okay to have desires, expectations, needs, because that's true. We all have them. So let's not pretend like we can afford to just be investing and giving and contributing and making meaningful connections after meaningful connections for other people. It's all outbound and it never comes back. Clear deliverables. You got to have clear deliverables that are meaningful. Other than that, you're doing things that you want to do, not necessarily things that other people want to do. That's a whole different soapbox, and I'm going to get off it right now. The fourth level of the common traps that you have to think about is when you manufacture promises that you can't keep. I always prefer small, reliable wins that compound credibility over time than huge, big moves that land up in the dumpster when it comes to business development. Because when you pitch somebody the wrong idea, the wrong person too soon, you ruin the relationship. You ruin the opportunity to come back. You ruin the opportunity to find that moment where there's resonance, where there's constant understanding and back and forth. You ruin it because once they don't want to play with you anymore in the sandbox, for whatever reason, you step to the left when you should have stepped to the right. You said this thing incorrectly, and people can't get over it or get behind it. Then you got a problem. People are looking to put you in a box. They're looking to take your strategy, your techniques, your thought processes, and assign something of meaning and understanding for them to it that may or may not be true. But it's human behavior. Now, with the last bit of time, I'm going to go through the 6 quick checklist items for every account and every account interaction you have. That means every meeting, every phone call, not necessarily text messages, but definitely every time you have a two-way interaction. It's not email, it's not text messages, it's not mail. These are all one-way interactions. But a phone call, a video chat, a personal meeting, these are the kinds of interactions I'm talking about, right? Account interaction, right? There's an objective. You want to be clear about what your objective is. One sentence for yourself, write it down. What is my objective going into this meeting? That's one on your checklist of things you got to be able to do. Number 2, measure the top stakeholders that you need to influence by name and role. Who is the person you're meeting with? What is their role? That's thing 2. Thing 3, on the quick checklist of items in every account, the dominant cue. Is this a person of power in the organization that you want to go to? Is this a person of interest, meaning they have interest in what you're bringing to the table? Is this an emotional connection? Or is it an alignment connection? You have to understand what the dominant cues are, because then you're going to play differently based on what you're talking about. If this is a power manipulation game, or you're trying to figure out who has more power than the other, who has the upper hand, I gotta promise you, you're gonna get burned on that one. Because people who have power or want to keep power or want to manipulate and control power are very, very difficult to do business with. Very, very difficult to create a collaborative or two-way relationship with. You're going to basically be in the transaction with that person. And there's more we can talk about: interest, emotion, and alignment, but that's for a later time. The 4th aspect on the checklist is one empathy line. There's something that you'll say with that person to show that you understand. Again, back to the dominant cue. If they're interested in power, then you want to make sure that you're talking in a way that they understand, that you understand that they have the power. If they're an interest person, this is what they're interested in. This is why they're interested in it. You want to talk to them in a way to let them understand that you understand their interest, or you understand their emotion, or you understand how you might be aligned with where they're aligned to. Number 5, micro commitments that you need to make need to be specific, deliverable, with a date. I'm going to do this by here. Is that okay with you? Does that make sense to you? Is there any reason why that can't happen or shouldn't happen? You need to get there. You need to make that commitment. That commitment needs to be clear, and then you need to deliver on that commitment. Number 6 is the follow-up. What are you following up on? The commitment. That's what you're following up on. Set a 24-hour recap that you're going to update your stakeholder map, that you're going to recap with the person, send them an email, send them a text message. I remember we promised to do blah, 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 by XYZ date. I'm on it. I will be getting to you soon if I have any questions. And with a detailed report of how we're going along the way, so they don't feel like you dropped the ball, right? And you must have that follow-up and follow-through process. And that's it. Again, the 6 quick checklist items for every account. Objective, number 1. Number 2, top stakeholder to influence. Number 3, dominant cues that you're focusing on. Number 4, one empathy line that you're dealing with. Number 5, a micro commitment that you need to make. And number 6, follow up and follow through. That is the end of our discussion today. And just for giggles, I'm going to recap. If you want to move out of emotional intelligence into relationship intelligence, where you can close deals, where you can make transactions happen, and multiple transactions within every account. If you want to get there, you're going to maximize your business development prowess. You got to understand these 7 secrets: the core capabilities of relationship investment, relationship intelligence. Practical behaviors to practice now, relationship rituals and drills that you need to work through, relationship cues to read and act upon, metrics to measure a relationship health, common traps and how to avoid them, and finally, you need your checklist of items for every account and every account interaction. I know that I just threw a lot at you guys, but I didn't do it to confuse you. I didn't do it to create any stress, because we've gone through in detail all of these things in previous weeks. So you can go back and look at all the previous episodes and get the details. So I don't want you to feel left alone. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on LinkedIn. You can find them on YouTube. And these are all places where you can go back to and really get the best of the best training that you're ever going to get. For those of you all who found this fascinating, exciting, you've been with this journey with me, and you want the entire training methodology that I just shared with you guys, send me a text message, send me a DM, and I promise I will give it to you without question, without fail. God bless you. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. I thank you. I'm looking forward to delivering our next series. Our next series is going to be based strictly on understanding how to incorporate the technologies we have to incorporate in our lives, and have our communities understand how these technologies can help us function and can function along with us. And I'm going to move I'm going to change the title of our program just for the next 90 days or so. I'm going to call it Keeping It Cool with Coach Powell, because it's all about making sure that you understand the power of cool technology, cool engineering, cool strategy that you're going to deal with for community development and environmental justice. All these things are going to be important. So here's to me, here's to you, here's to the new episode, the new ideas. Happy birthday to Coach Powell. I just turned 60 yesterday. I'm so glad to have an opportunity to share with you, and I hope that you will come back again and again and again. Engage, share, follow up, follow through. Let's keep that connection going. Bye, guys. I'm out of here.